Ready? Yes.
Does it fit all the way? Okay.
Yeah, it has everything.
So we're gonna trace it all identical, dart included. When we're gonna do the real jacket, we're going to eliminate that dart. I think it's ugly.
You're eliminating the shoulder dart?
Not today.
Oh.
When we do the complete jacket, we're gonna eliminate that dart. I think it's ugly. And if you want to create a full back without a center back seam, by all means do it. So I'm gonna do only one dart. And I'm gonna do the one outside because I wanted to have a wider flat part on the body and have kind of the dart right under the underarm. So it's gonna have it.
If we wanted a boxy jacket, can we do no darts at all?
Yeah. And probably will remove some of the indentation on the waist.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, talking about indentation on the waist. Okay. So this is fairly fast and very simple. We have, let me practice my French. Le dart. Okay, here we have shoulder dart. Here we opened 1/4 of an inch on the neck. So we're going to measure 1/4 of an inch because then your shoulder will be wider than the other one, right? And then I'm gonna get this ruler and I'm gonna do this. So this is gonna be gone. Okay? Now, we're gonna get this pattern and we're gonna measure where the facing is. And the facing measures 2 1/4. So I'm gonna measure here 2 1/4, which it happens to be exactly where the dart is. So if I were to have separated and had a seam there, it would have been the perfect opportunity to eliminate that dart. But we're not, we're just making a facing. So I'm gonna measure 2 1/4, following the curve of it, of the neck.
Wait, how did you get the inching, like the 2 inches? Like, how did you measure those?
I measured it right here. See that facing is from here to here? That should be the same band that continues into the back of the neck, right? You wanted to connect at the end of the facing at the same measurement. So 2 1/4 here, it ends exactly here. So I'm gonna have this whole pattern. If you guys want to have a full back, then we're gonna make this on the fold, right? So we have a full back. You wanna have a seam in the middle, you're more than welcome to do, right? And then you're gonna have a full facing, okay? So if I would make a pattern with a seam in the back, I will get 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, right? Then for the facing, okay, I'm gonna give 1/2 inch to the end because we're gonna hem it, or you can do 1/4, right? Here on the neck is 1/2, shoulder is 1/2. Here I'm gonna do it on the fold. I wanna have a full facing, right? So copying what we did before, oops, sorry. Copying what we did before, you get a piece of fat paper, you fold it on that line, you place it exactly on the center back fold.
And this is the facing of the collar.
That's the back neck facing. Yes.
Back neck, okay.
Yes. I always put pins because I don't want it to move. And then we copy it. Now you probably guys have seen that there are some jackets that have no lining, but it has a facing,
Right.
or some blouses. I think you have a little facing.
Oh, yeah, I
Or
think
you have, yeah, and sometimes it flips up, right? I remember there was a time that there were you put it on and then you have a bib that it was coming up and you had to push it in, right? That's a facing, and that's the purpose of the facing. But it cleans up and finishes the edges. So I'm not saying that it's used only on neckline. For example, on a sleeveless top, dress, bodice, whatever you want to call it, you would use a facing around that, right? So anything that has a finished edge would be the one that would work for that.
And that would trace on the grain, right?
Yes.
Wait, if we had a liner, do we need to make a facing?
You still do a facing.
And put the liner on top of the...
No, the lining will end up to here. Not all the way here and then the facing on top.
Right.
That's, I've seen a lot of people that do that.
That's what I'm
That's a
asking.
lazy way.
So, but
Yeah,
when you
and
have
then
lining-
you get double layer fabric, so it gets really bulky. Yeah,
When you have lining,
question.
the seam allowance on the bottom is gonna be
half.
the seam allowance for the bottom of the facing. If you have a lining, it's gonna be half.
Okay.
Instead of
Yeah, you should do a quarter only on the edge seams,
right.
but this would be an inner seam because you're connecting the lining with a facing. So that's why you do half.
Right. Are you ready?
Okay? So we cut it, we label it, we transfer the seams to the other side. Yes, I do use a pin to make sure that the two layers are as one, because the layer underneath might shift and then it's not perfectly symmetrical, right? I will give it a nudge. Look that I didn't put it exactly on the fold. So see how he created that little point going up? Right? That's why it's best that you do a perfect 90 degrees. The bottom I did, but at the top no. Maybe it's the tracing wheel that you kind of got on the way. I'm gonna do a notch right here on the fold. And I'm gonna add seam allowance in. I'm not gonna add it, I'm just gonna mark it. Okay, grain line, always grain line. It's gonna be back, neck, facing, size 8, notch color jacket. So you put the name of the piece, but you also put the name of the pattern. Jacket, and then your name. Okay? Any questions? So let's Rihanna, and when the patterns are finished, we'll cut it and then we start sewing.